for God. I got a real nigga. Cause he want no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the pop ball. Fuck what they heard, when they tell them it's all true. They courses, the foundation falls to the fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times, 2 times. Ain't no more hard in this game, no job shoot. Colder than the avalanche, way above ambush. Fierce taste, he told him make me an apple. Left us in the valley full of bones. This is where hope fell. Now become a man. Dark sands get broke down. Ride through Evans to a wall quad. Telling me how the crackers turn the shower into a ghost town. Focus stop there, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Never like shine like heaven to a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my tail, no plans. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like Tarantula. Them other niggas rap, I'm ready anthems. I really see profits under this banner. Make my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I want it black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that's so dirty to handle. Look, I'm more like a Brazilian, fresh Chicago. Spirit ancient, but I got a brother semi-auto. Bring that bitch around like where's Waldo. Leave him they won't I cut through they scenes like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when they heels touch. The world be dumb, I don't feel much. Round with Yara down, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than baby. If I drop twice gone, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his white blood. We all stepping, kill you with hit up with a K with no acronym. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach. If they make the wrong move, see me, they like, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on my nose.
This is the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohanan. And this is the ISUPK, Kentucky. I am Precinct Officer ISUPK, and tonight is the law class, all right? And we got a heavy topic tonight. We gotta remember who the enemy is, all right? That's on topic tonight. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna go over what's been going on the last couple of weeks with the police shootings and things of that nature. And one thing we have to remember is who is the goddamn enemy. That's one thing we had to remember as a people. You understand? Before integration, we knew who the enemy was. You know what I'm saying? Before, all through segregation and slavery and everything of that nature, we knew who the enemy was. But ever since integration, we forgot who the enemy is. You understand? And we need to remember who the enemy is. All right. We're gonna go over a couple articles that I found, and then we're gonna get into some scriptures. All right. Let's get that first one I sent you about the Memphis police officer. Because what was it last week? Last week, was Tyree Nichols. Tyree Nichols was shot in Memphis, Tennessee. He was basically beat up by five black cops. You understand? And all 5 of the black cops, they've been fired, indicted. You know what I'm saying? Went to jail and everything of that nature. You understand? But before the 5 cops actually beat him up, you know what I'm saying? When he at the first initial stop, there was also a white police officer there too. He was seen in the I can't show the videos, but he was shown in the video dragging Tyree Nichols out the car. You understand? And he's the one that pepper sprayed him and things of that nature, tased him, pepper sprayed him, and all that. Right before he took off running. You understand? And crazy thing about it is, the white police officer is the only police officer that didn't get fired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He got administrative leave, pending investigation.
Right.
You understand? And he was also heard in the video talking about how they stomp his ass out. Right. You understand?
Stomping to death.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, even no matter how much we as black people and Hispanics try to integrate into white society, you still always seen as a nigga.
Right.
You still always seen as a spit. You understand? You're never gonna be equal to the oppressor. They're never gonna look at you as an equal. They're never gonna see you as an equal. You understand? They're always gonna see you as what you are.
Right.
You understand? No matter how much of a cold blue there is, that cold blue don't work for you niggas.
Right. Right.
The city of Memphis is gonna make an example out of you niggas, and at the same time, they're gonna let this white police officer skate by, like he did nothing wrong. Like he ain't say, "I hope they stomp his ass out." None of that. You got that article?
Salaki, about the oppressor.
It said white cop who wanted colleagues to stomp Tyree Nichols is suspended. I believe it's the first one I sent you.
Kind of. White cop who wanted colleagues to stomp Tyree Nichols is suspended. Salaki, it got like a little set aside for me reading the
article. You got like where you can listen to the article, like 5 minutes.
All right, that's cool. If you don't want to read it, push play.
Nah, I'll read it, but then I'll push the play so they can hear it. Come on, stop buffering the play.
Nah, just go ahead and read it.
Come. A white Memphis cop involved in the fatal arrest of Tyree Nichols, who was allegedly caught on body cam saying he hoped other officers would stomp his ass, has been relieved of duty, authorities said Monday.
So this white officer that is heard on body cam talking about, I hope they stomp his ass out. He didn't get fired like the black police officers.
Nah.
He didn't get fired. You know what I'm saying? Even though it also showing the video where he's pulling Tyree Nichols out of the car and pepper spraying them and things of that nature. The video showing doing all that. He say on the camera, stomp his ass out, but he's relieved of duty. He ain't been fired.
Right.
Go ahead.
I don't come. Memphis police told the Associated Press that Preston Hemphill, 26, was relieved of duty shortly after the January 7th traffic stop, but his name wasn't made public until Monday.
Yeah, they kept his name a secret. Try to keep his name a secret before they put the tape out, and they had no choice but to let the name be known after the tape went out.
Right.
Go ahead.
He is the sixth Memphis officer to be punished for the traffic stop that led to a brutal beating and the eventual death of Nichols.
See, they say he was the sixth officer that's been punished, but unlike the other 5, he ain't get fired.
Right.
He ain't get charged. He ain't go to jail.
Wow.
It's a pending investigation, and he's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Administrative leave.
Right.
Go ahead.
The department also revealed Monday that they have relieved a 7th unnamed officer from duty immediately following the incident. Unlike the 5 black officers who were fired shortly after the incident, Hemphill and the unnamed officer are not facing murder charges.
Of course not. Of course not, because these are white police officers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can stomp out, say what they want, do what they want, but their code of blue, their police unit, they got their back.
Right.
You understand? They're not like the black officers. They actually got their back.
Right.
But the black officers, they got fired quick. They got shown quick. Hey, y'all ass in the back with the rest of the back of the bus with the rest of the niggas. They're gonna make an example out of you niggas.
Right.
So with all the white police officers that's been getting off, they're gonna make an example out of your black ass. Go ahead.
3 EMTs, Robert Long, J. Michael Sandridge, and Lieutenant Michelle Whitaker were also fired Monday for their actions or inactions when called to render aid to Nichols. Memphis Fire and Rescue announced.
Down, even the EMTs was in on it. I believe them EMTs, they was black too. I believe they was black too, wasn't they?
Sloggy, I really didn't catch all of it. I
believe they was black too. I could be mistaken on that. I had to do a little bit more research on that. But I believe they was black too. But even the EMTs was in on it. EMTs got fired.
Sloggy, if I may, but after reading this right here, I think they was black.
Yeah.
Because the only two got saved was, two oppressors.
Right.
We're called, let me see, Salaki. Hemphill featured in a photo on the PD's Facebook page last July when he completed 40 hours of mental illness training to join the force's crisis intervention team. In a statement, Nichols' family attorney, Ben Crump, said it was Hempfield who violently pulled Nichols from his car while striking him with a taser during an initial traffic stop.
And you can see that's in the video.
Right.
That's in one of the first videos. I believe it's like 6 or 7 minutes long. You understand? You can see him violently pulling him out the car, tasing him, pepper spraying him, all that. You can see that. You know what I'm saying? Like he was even trying to cooperate, and he was still, you know what I'm saying, pepper spraying him while he was laying on the ground. 3 other police officers on his back. He still pepper sprayed him and 2 other officers.
Salaki, and that's accessory to murder.
Yeah, if it was you or I, that would be accessory.
Accessory to
Accessory
murder.
before the fact, accessory after the fact, all that. They would come up with some charges if that was one of us.
That's accessory to murder.
Go ahead, keep going.
Kind. Something clearly captured by.
Hey, it's like if I could record, that was right before he took off running, cause he ended up getting up and took off running. Which, I mean, damn, can you blame him?
Right.
They over here beating the hell out this man, pepper spraying him, tasing him. I mean, what? You know what I'm saying? He was trying to get on the ground. Y'all was beating the hell out of him. He was on the ground. Y'all was beating the hell out of him.
Right.
Y'all pepper sprayed him, tased him.
Yeah.
Hell, y'all fell for y'all out here. He fell for his life.
Right.
So he took the fuck off running.
Right.
Now, if you fell for your life, you could shoot him. But if a civilian fell for his life, he can't take off running? Like, somebody make that make sense. Get in the comments, make that make sense for me.
Right.
If a police officer feel threatened, like we're going to see in the next article, he could feel threatened, and he can empty a whole clip in your ass. But if you take off running, because police officers is beating the hell out of you, and tasing you, and pepper spraying you, right, you end up dead at the end of the situation? I mean, damn. Somebody got to make that make sense.
Especially you so-called black men.
Right. Somebody got to make that make sense. Go ahead.
Kind. Something clearly captured by body cam footage released by authorities on Friday night. In another body cam clip, an officer identified by Crump as Hempfield is heard yelling, "I hope they stomp his ass," after Nichols escaped and ran from officers who were beating him. Crump said Nichols' family is disappointed by Hempfield's seemingly paltry punishment, saying he should have been fired and it shouldn't have taken 3 weeks for Memphis PD to release his name.
It's like it real quick. Amar said, so the white boy got administrative leave, so much for the Black History Month. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a fact. The white police officer got administrative leave, while the black police officers got fired and charged.
Right.
There wasn't no pending investigation, at all.
No.
Now, not the, you know what I'm saying? Usually, if it was 5 white police, like with Eric Garner when he got choked out, they gave him administrative leave. Yeah. There was an entire investigation. They had to see, was he resisting arrest, looking at the tapes and all that. Did he resist? Was this force? Was you know what I'm saying? Well, none of that. They fired the black police officers on the spot. No investigation, no pending investigation, none of that. And they charged them.
Right.
Yes, and the white boy got off. Well, I ain't gonna say he got off just yet, but he got administrative leave, pending an investigation. There's an investigation for his behalf. Even though he's seen violently pulling the man out the car, pepper spraying him, and another officer, tasing him, and saying, "I hope they they stomp his ass out."
It's a lot. What you bringing out is heavy, but he getting this job back.
Oh, definitely.
He getting this job back.
If it ain't in Memphis, it'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, because they gonna put that murder on. They gonna put that murder on. Them other cops.
They already charged them.
Yeah, so
formally charged them, indicted them, all that already. Before the tape came out, they was indicted.
Dang.
Keep going.
It certainly begs the question why The white officer involved in this brutal attack was shielded and protected from the public eye.
Read that part again.
It certainly begs the question.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Keep going.
Why the white officer involved in this brutal attack was shielded and protected from the public eye.
But is that really a question though? Because we all know the answer to it.
Right.
What's the difference between him and the other cops?
It's a difference. The
only difference is he got white privilege.
Right.
Then black cops don't. It's the only difference.
Right.
He's a white male in America. Them niggas in America. That's the difference.
Right.
That answers the question right there. If that was even really a question, like we all don't know the answer to it. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. So my phone messing up, but I got it though. I just gotta find my print. All right, Salaki. Kanawaka.
You got it?
Come. It certainly begs the question why the white officer involved in this brutal attack was shielded and protected from the public eye, and to date, from sufficient discipline and accountability. Crump wrote in a statement, the Memphis Police Department owes us all answers. Memphis police have not confirmed if it was Hempfield who made the stunt comment or what specific actions led to him being relieved from duty. Multiple emails and calls to the department will not return on Monday. Hempfield's lawyer, Lee Gerald, confirmed in a statement to the Daily Beast that his client was involved in the initial encounter with Nichols before the fled.
Now they trying to say they don't know who said that in the remark. Well, there was only two. I watched the video. There was two police officers there.
Right.
It was him, and then there was a black police officer. Because he got pepper sprayed.
Right.
He was the white police officer was pouring water in the black police officer's eyes.
Right.
And when he was doing that, he was saying, "I hope they stomp their ass out." So only two police there. The black police officer was occupied with getting the damn pepper spray that he pepper sprayed him. You know what I'm saying? Out his eyes. So it only left one person.
Right. So, like, if I may, technology is so advanced now. They got a thing within the police department. They can do a voice recognition.
Yeah. They used that for the Trayvon Martin. You know what I'm saying? When they were trying to figure out who was that yelling help, help, help. And they said that was George Zimmerman yelling help because they used the voice recognition.
Yeah, they got a thing to do.
So now you telling me you don't know who said that in this video?
Yeah.
And y'all got voice recognition? Mm-hmm. Sound like some bullshit. Keep going.
Got. He was never present at the second scene, Gerald said. He was cooperating with officials in this investigation. Gerald said Hempfield activated his body cam and his footage was video one in the series of 4 horrifying videos released Friday evening by Memphis officials. That clip, nearly 6 minutes long, appears to show Hempfield pin down Nichols while shouting commands at him. Parts of the video are obscured because Hempfield was too close to Nichols to record what was happening. But expletives were bleeped dozens of times in the clip. After a brief struggle, the video showed Hempfield unsuccessfully deploying his taser at Nichols as he breaks free and runs away.
That's when he broke off and took off.
Huh.
You got little on their ass too.
Huh.
So like it. Keep going.
Got him. Con. Hempfield is heard saying he can't see jack shit because his glasses were knocked off in the struggle. He didn't pursue Nichols for long after he ran down the street. Instead, tending to a second officer, he injured his eyes.
Because he pepper sprayed him. So it was two officers there. It was the officer that got pepper sprayed trying to get the pepper spray out of his eye. And the white officer pouring water in his eyes. And then it was the white officer. We didn't see the black officer say nothing.
Right.
But somebody definitely said, I hope they stomp his ass out. It didn't come from in front of the camera. It came from behind the camera.
Right.
And there was only two people there. But y'all telling me y'all know who said that.
Right.
The links they go to protect the white officers.
Right.
But yet the links they go to for the black officers, y'all ass is fired.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. Count. 5 of Hempfield's former colleagues, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith were fired shortly after Nichols' death and charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. They were part of a specialized anti-crime unit that supposedly required additional training and mandatory experience minimums. Memphis Police Chief Sherilyn Davis launched a unit nicknamed Scorpion for street crimes operation to restore peace in our neighborhoods. A few months after taking the job in 2021 to get tough on tough people, she said then, the same month, rapper Young Dolph was killed in the city. The unit was to act as a strike team in vulnerable parts of Memphis, which quickly drew criticism from residents who described its officers' actions as heavy-handed. The New York Times reported.
Because there was other articles that I found last night too, where a couple of them black police officers they've done some shady shit. You know what I'm saying? Putting guns on people. That's not the first person they done beat up.
Right.
That's the first person they killed, but that's not the first person they done beat up or put a gun on or things like that nature. That's not the first time this happened. They kept pushing their luck. Now brother's dead.
Right.
Because they felt like they had the same authority that white police officers had.
Right.
And they got shown real quick. Nah, y'all still some niggas.
Right.
And we gonna make an example out of you niggas. Keep going.
Count.
Matter of fact, drop that. Let's go to the second one. Go to the Nashville one.
Talking about the body camera footage.
Body camera footage, 911 calls released after officer fatally shoots man in North Nashville. All right, so this happened January 30th. So that was right before the Tyreek Nichols. But I think they said something about January 7th. Now that's when things was released, was January 7th. But either way, right before or right after the Tyreek Nichols, you know what I'm saying, there was a police-involved shooting in North Nashville. That's the black side of town in Nashville.
Go
ahead.
Body camera footage, 911 calls released after officer fatally shoots man in North Nashville. A Nashville police officer fatally shot an armed 47-year-old man Sunday evening in North Nashville, officials reported.
Now, they say the man was armed, but Tennessee is an open carry and concealed carry state. So it's not illegal to have a gun on you.
Right.
You can open carry and concealed carry without a license in the state of Tennessee. So having a gun is not illegal.
Right.
Go ahead.
Count. Police first received a call around 6:40 p.m. about a man walking, yelling, and waving a gun around the 900 block of Buchanan.
Now, waving the gun around, you ain't supposed to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not illegal to have a gun on. It's not illegal.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. Metro Nashville Police Department spokesman Don Aaron said in a news briefing, this area is home to a bustling string of businesses and restaurants, some of which were open at the time. Aaron said North Precinct Officer Dylan Ramos was the first on the scene and repeatedly told the man to stop and drop the gun.
Okay, so the police show up, tell him to stop what he's doing and drop his gun.
Con.
Go ahead.
The man turned towards Ramos in what the officer believed to be a threatening manner.
In what?
A threatening manner.
The officer believed it was a threatening manner. He didn't say he turned to him in a threatening manner, pointing the gun at him or anything of that nature. They said how do you turn in a threatening manner?
Right.
He turned in a threatening manner. How the hell does that make sense? How do you turn in a threatening manner? You sitting there yelling at him to stop and drop his gun. He turning around to see who you was talking to, one.
Right.
And two, what? I ain't doing that. But he said, police said he turned in a threatening manner.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. Aaron said Aaron said Ramos then fatally shot the man.
So he turned in a threatening manner, which I don't even know what a turn in a threatening manner means. How do you turn in a threatening manner?
Right.
Because if you don't turn with your arm up with a gun facing somebody, how is that threatening?
Right.
And then he fatally shoots him for turning in a threatening manner. Keep going.
Come. Aaron did not identify the man. Police are working to notify the next of kin. Ramos had been on the force with the MNPD since October 2019. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was on the scene and will lead the investigation. Nashville's Community Oversight Board said its executive director was also on the scene. MNPD released a 14-minute video that begins with audio from the 911 call that initiated police response. The caller tells the dispatcher that there's a man walking down the street outside businesses on Buchanan Street with a gun threatening people. Y'all need to come on then, a second man said into the phone. I'm letting them know. Everything you're telling me, I'm getting them there quick as I can, the dispatcher responded. Please get him because he's going to lose his life out here playing with this gun, pointing at people. The caller said he's going to get in trouble. The caller expressed concern for the man's well-being and while nervous about the gun, said he also wanted to watch out for him. As soon as police arrived, the dispatcher prepares to hang up with the man when shots rang out. So
The dispatcher ain't even hung up the goddamn phone yet, and the man's already been shot.
Right.
Keep going.
Kind. Please don't shoot him. The man yelled, don't shoot him. The audio continued as the man repeatedly screamed, getting more emotional with each yell. He began to sob as the dispatcher calls out to the caller and more sirens sound in the background. About halfway through the video, it cuts to a second call to 911. The man tells the dispatcher that he thought the man with the gun was trying to right the weapon to fire. Oh, they just shot him. The man said. Wait, the dispatcher asked. They just shot him. Oh my God, he replied. The video then switches to Ramos' body and in-car camera as he's getting out of his patrol car. The man abruptly turns away from Ramos and begins walking away toward the bus stop.
So the man turns from him and walks towards the bus stop, walking away from him. Go ahead.
Con. Ramos has his pistol in hand down at his side. Sir, Ramos calls out several times. He raises his gun and asks surrounding people what the man has in his possession. Do not touch that. Ramos yells, drop the gun. Ramos begins to give the command a third time when he pulls the trigger at least a dozen times.
So Ramos shoots this man 12 times. You understand? Now, let's put this into some perspective. If somebody breaks into your house, let's say here in Kentucky, let's use Kentucky law. If somebody breaks into your house in Kentucky, right?
Right.
And you shoot them in the back because they're running out the door, guess what happens? You shoot them one time in the back. Your ass going to jail. Now, let's say somebody come into your house, they got a knife, they trying to kill you and everything. You shoot them. If you shoot them 12 times, you know what they call that? Excessive murder.
Force.
It's excessive. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no he threatened, you know what I'm saying, violently turned, or what is it, threatening, turned in a threatening way. If you shoot somebody that broke into your house 12 times, that's excessive shooting. It's excessive murder. Your ass going to jail.
Gone.
But this police officer shoots this man a dozen times because he said he turned in a threatening manner. Keep going.
Con. Videos.
Now, again, somebody got to make this make sense in the comments. So you telling me a police officer can shoot a man 12 times for turning in a threatening manner, but if somebody breaks into my house and I shoot him 12 times, I'm going to jail for excessive. I don't know the exact term, but I know it's like excessive force, or excessive murder, or something of that nature. It's excessive. You didn't have to shoot him 12 times. What they're gonna say?
Excessive force.
Excessive force. You ain't had to shoot him 12 times. But you telling me this police officer can shoot a man 12 times? And he didn't even break into his house. He just turned in a threatening manner. Come on, man. Keep going.
Con. Video surveillance footage from one of the nearby businesses captures the man as he's walking towards the bus stop, leans down and appears to pick up something from the ground. He turns around and tosses something small and dark in color away from him in Ramos' direction. He then takes 2 steps backward before falling to the ground. Less than 10 seconds later, 3 more officers run down the sidewalk toward the scene, and a patrol car screeches to a halt near the bus stop.
All right, that's the end of that one.
Kind.
Now let's go to that last article.
Kind.
Now this one is crazy too.
Video adds 2 questions about police shooting of a double amputee holding a knife.
So this person ain't even got no goddamn legs, but they have a knife. So y'all shoot them to death. This one happened in California, January 29th, 2023.
Kind.
Keep going.
As they do every week during football season, the Lowe family gathered Sunday morning to watch the NFL games on 2 big flat screens in the South Los Angeles home of the family matriarch. But as the San Francisco 49ers prepared to face off against the Philadelphia Eagles, there was one fewer family member watching. Anthony Lowe, 36, has been shot and killed by Huntington Park police officers Thursday afternoon. Instead of talking football, the family spoke in hushed tone of the grainy cell phone video they seen that night before Lowe, a double amputee trying to run. Come on.
I don't know why they said that. They said double amputee trying to run.
Okay.
Now somebody make that make sense. If you ain't got no goddamn legs, how you trying to run? Keep going. I know, hey, that's what that stumbled you right there. You said, I'm trying to run. Did I read that right? I know that's why you stopped too. It's like, damn, did I read that right? Yeah, you read that right. You sure did. That's what it say. A W amputee tried to run from Huntington Park police officers on what was left of his legs while holding a long-bladed knife. So he tried to run on the stubs. Salakia.
Yeah, that don't.
This man ain't got no legs. Well, I seen a double amputee black dude out here. He put shoes on what's left of his legs, and he still walk on like his thighs or whatever. So I mean I guess that could make sense because he said trying to run from police officers on what was left of his legs. So I guess he may put like the dude here. He put shoes on his stubs, like on his little thighs, right? You know what I'm saying, and walks on them. So I mean,
yeah, it could be possible.
But you think double amputee? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like how far did you think he was gonna run?
Yeah.
Okay, he was holding a knife. Is it illegal to hold a knife? Is it illegal to have a knife? Is it a death penalty to hold a knife? Again, we got to remember who our enemy is, because it's our enemy that's out here that's making all these unrealistic, unjustified laws, and then also protecting the ones that's killing us.
Right.
Keep going.
Kind of. Lowe's lower leg has been amputated last year. In the video, he appears to have just dismounted from a nearby wheelchair as he scrambled down the sidewalk away from the uniformed officer. Two police sport utility vehicles drove into the frame and parked, blocking the camera's view. The video, which was posted on Twitter on Saturday, then abruptly ends. No footage of the ensuing gunfire has been released. Toy, Lowe's oldest sister, identified the man running from police as her brother. She said that his legs had been amputated after an altercation with law enforcement in Texas.
So that's the whole reason why his legs was amputated to begin with, is because of police officers.
Right.
Go ahead.
Kind of. And that the family also has questions about that incident.
I bet they do.
Right.
Keep going.
Kind of. This is the first where he ain't watching the game with us. It's what he loves to do, Toy said. She still uses present tense when referring to her brother, who has 2 teenage children. He's the life of the family. He brings happiness, joy. He loves to dance. He is very respectable. He loves his mother. He's the favorite uncle. The kids all love him. Lowe's death is a devastating loss for the close-knit Lowe family, Toy said, and it comes at a time of increased scrutiny. of police brutality and violence after a string of high-profile incidents, including the beating death of 20 Salaki, the beating death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols by Memphis police this month.
So, like, literally, all these 3 deaths happened within a matter of, what, like 3 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
Give or take a week or 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these murders happened within at least a month time period.
Right, yeah. That's sad.
Keep going.
Come.
We're going to read a little bit more, then we're going to get into the scripture.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff Department homicide unit is investigating Lowe's shooting, as it typically does for all shootings involving Huntington Park Place.
Now, you notice the difference between this one, the last one, and then the Memphis one? These white police officers, the white police officer in Nashville, saw an investigation going on.
Right.
The white police officer in Memphis, it's an investigation going on for him. But them black police officers, they got fired. No investigation, indicted.
Right.
Will more than likely get charged. Remember who the enemy is.
That's right.
No matter how much you think you integrated into the enemy society, no matter how much you think you done integrated into the enemy's police force, and you got this good paying job now, and, or whatever the case may be, guess what? You still a nigga.
That's right.
You still a spick. You still a savage.
Right.
You understand? No matter how much you think you done integrated and now you think you're successful because you're a police officer and the police, the blue code of silence and they're supposed to have your back, now you're going to get thrown in the back of the bus with the rest of them niggas.
Right.
As soon as you do anything wrong.
Right.
They're going to make examples out of you.
That's right.
But they're going to, the white police officers who you call your brothers, they don't have your back at all. While you beating and dehumanizing and scrutinizing who is actually your real brothers.
Right.
The same people that look like you in the streets. The same people you still live by. You treat them like shit.
Right.
But yet you hold your white police officer brothers to a higher standard. And yet they at the first chance they get, your ass getting thrown in the back of the butt. Hit me one last time.
Come.
The water. Then we're going to get into some of these scriptures right here. A detective with the homicide unit stopped by the home of Dorothy Lowe, the dead man's 53-year-old mother, Saturday to interview family. They responded, Troy said, by peppering the detective with questions about Anthony's death. The answers the detective provided were vague and unpersuasive, said Tatiana Jackson, another sister of Lowe. The biggest question, what was so threatening about a disabled W amputee with a knife that is that necessitated shooting him? Something is not right with this situation, Jackson said. My daughter is 4 and she adores him, and it's like it's going to break my heart to let her know she does not understand. She was looking for him. Like, is he hiding from me? I can't bring myself to tell her that he will never come back again. You understand? So again, like, I would have to question too, like, this man has no legs.
Right.
He has a knife, which isn't illegal to have. He didn't throw it at you, or there was no report of this man, you know what I'm saying, threatening anybody like it was in the last one with the gun. There was no reports of him threatening anybody or anything like that. He was in a wheelchair, hopped out the wheelchair, took off on y'all ass. Salakia. You know what I'm saying? So What made y'all shoot this W amputee with a knife? What did he do?
Right.
How did you feel threatened? Did he turn in the threatened manner too? Nah, we gotta remember who the enemy is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop calling the enemy when there's an issue between us. You know what I'm saying? We gotta leave the enemy out. We need to remember who the goddamn enemy is. All right, let's go ahead and drop that. Get into these scriptures. Give me Job 9:24. Let's start there. Job 9:24. We're gonna start there because it's crazy. Well, we have to understand that these people they're not gonna respect you as an equal. They're not gonna look at you as an equal. You always gonna be a nigga. You always gonna be a spit. You always gonna be a savage. You never gonna be equal with these people. No matter how good they talk, how good it sounds, how many you know what I'm saying, with all these police killings and everything like that, we still ain't gotta stop the black hate bill like the Asians gotta stop the Asian hate.
Right.
Where's our hate bill at? You know what I'm saying? Police can kill us. White people can kill us. Run into our grocery stores and our churches and things of that nature and just shoot us to death. And we still get no stop the black hate bill. But yet, when voting time coming around, y'all gonna want the black vote.
Right.
And you silly niggas is gonna give it to them.
Give them.
That's a whole nother class. We'll get into that later.
Right.
Go ahead. Job 9:24.
Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given it.
Go ahead.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You understand? And let's think about that for a second. Who runs everything? Who owns everything?
Right.
Who makes the laws? Who makes the rules? Keep going.
And he covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Who changed the face of Christ? The Bible right there that describes Christ as a black man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Who changed his face into a white man? Who changed Moses into a white man?
Right.
Who changed the disciples into white people? Who did these things? Keep going.
If not, where and who is he?
I mean, if the white man ain't the goddamn slacker, if the oppressor ain't the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of,
right,
who else is it? Who is the one that oppresses you? Who's the one that got their knee on your neck? Who is the one that if you turn in a threatening manner, you can end up shot 12 goddamn times for so-called turning in a threatening manner?
Right.
If it's not this oppressor that's been oppressing you for the last 600 years, if it's not the same oppressor that's got his knee on your goddamn neck, it's not the same oppressor that makes the laws, passes the laws, that owns all the businesses, the ones you got to work for. If it's not him, then who is it?
Right.
If it's not the same one that is yelling in a camera, I hope they stomp his ass out and not get fired like the rest of the police officers did. And they all are supposed to be equals. They are supposed to have the same color of blue. Are supposed to be equals. But the 5 black officers get fired, indicted, and charged, and the lonely white man that yells in a camera, hope they stomp his ass out. Nothing happens.
Right.
He gets an investigation. He gets a chance. If the white man ain't the guy, Salakia, if the oppressor ain't the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of, then who is it?
Right.
All right, drop that. Give me Proverbs 3 and 31. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Because one thing we have to understand, you know what I'm saying, no matter how much you think you done integrated into society, no matter how much respect you think you got on your job because you a funky ass police officer, your white brothers in blue that you call your brothers, they ain't got your goddamn back like they got each other's back.
That's right.
They may kill every goddamn body, and once you kill one person, they gonna make the example out of your black ass.
That's right.
And where's the proof? Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
Tyree Nichols.
Right.
It ain't like they beat a white man to death. Matter of fact, I've never seen a story where police officers beat up a white man.
It's like me neither.
I've never seen that story.
Never.
I Googled it last night too, just to make sure. Never seen it. Right. Nothing came up.
It ain't gonna ever.
Go ahead whenever you get there.
Kind. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy not your oppressor. Just because you think you got this little funky ass job where you next to them and there's a so-called call you your brothers and there's a coat of blue and all that garbage. Envy not the oppressor.
Right.
Go ahead.
Kind. And choose none of his ways.
And what?
And choose none of his ways.
And what?
And choose none of his ways.
And choose none of his ways. Don't think you can do what the oppressor does on your job and get away with it like the oppressor does. That's not gonna happen. How do we know? Memphis, Tennessee. Right. Tyree Nichols. And yes, we still want justice for Tyree Nichols.
That's right.
I don't give a damn if it was 5 black cops. They asked me to go to jail just like anybody else would.
Right.
Yeah, we want justice for Tyree Nichols. I don't care if it was black 5 cops. Damn them. Right. They should have shown their brother some brotherhood and not beat the hell out of him.
That's right.
For a traffic violation, nonetheless. Last time I checked, a traffic violation isn't a death penalty in any state.
Right.
I don't care what state you in. Tennessee, Kentucky, California. What states got the death penalty? California, Texas,
Florida.
I don't care if you're in Florida or any state that got a death penalty. Or you know what I'm saying, where you can hit death row. A traffic violation is not a death sentence.
Right.
Just like all the child molesters and all that get their day in court, so should somebody that is stopped for a traffic violation. Your only charges can't be a traffic violation and resisting arrest. Well, what the fuck did you do to get the arrest going on?
Right.
It's a traffic stop. Keep going. Read it. Finish that.
So
that was it on that?
All
right, give me Genesis 49:8. Genesis chapter 49, verse 8.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. Judah,
the so-called black man, the so-called Negro. Go ahead.
Thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Mm-hmm.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies.
Thy what?
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies.
Yeah, because we wanted to integrate with the enemies. We wanted to be next to the enemies. We want to live next door, work with, and be subject to the enemies. So our hand is in the neck of the enemy because they got their knee on our goddamn necks.
That's
every
right.
goddamn day. We got to wake up and see this goddamn oppressor. We send our children to school. They got to look at these oppressors all goddamn day.
Right.
Go ahead.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
That's like drop that. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and go to 48 and then drop down to 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Therefore what?
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
We're going to serve our equals.
Serve thy enemies.
We're going to serve our friends.
Serve thy enemies.
And they're my brothers.
Serve thy enemies.
So you're going to have to serve your enemies. Go ahead.
Come.
Remember who the enemy is. That's the topic of tonight's class. Go ahead.
Come. Which the Most High shall send against thee.
Which the Most High sent against thee. And he sent them against us because we didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. We wanted to follow these other nations and do what these other nations are doing. So we didn't get all the good stuff that we were supposed to get, you know what I'm saying, in Deuteronomy 28:1. All the good things that's going to happen if y'all keep these commandments and statutes that Moses gave us this day. But since we didn't, chapter 28, verse 15, since we didn't follow these laws, all these curses is going to come upon you. And 48, I'm saying you're going to have to serve your enemies. Go ahead.
Come. In hunger.
If you want something to eat, God damn it, you got to serve your enemy. If you want a paycheck to get you something to eat and feed your family, you got to serve your enemy. If you wherever you want to get you something to eat, whether you go to Walmart and buy groceries or go to a fast food restaurant or whatever, you serving your enemies.
Right.
We don't own the farms that get the produce to these grocery stores.
Right.
We don't own Tyson's chicken. We don't own these any of these chicken farms or cow farms, anything like that. We don't own them. You know what I'm saying? You want to go all these Chinese restaurants or whatever. We don't own them.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. And in thirst.
You want something to drink? You gotta go to your enemy.
Right.
You want to wash your ass. You gotta pay that water bill.
That's right.
And you paying that to your enemy.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. And in nakedness.
You want some clothes? You gotta go to your enemy.
Right.
Because niggas don't support black-owned businesses anyway.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You got 101 black clothing brands. Niggas don't support you. How I know? I got one. That's how I know. Niggas don't support you. At least niggas that know you.
Right.
Niggas that don't know you will support you. But the niggas that's around you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking about my UPK word. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking about the other one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't support you. Family don't support you whatsoever. You think your family be your biggest supporters.
Right.
Shit. If you think that, you's a fool. Keep going. I pray you understand.
And in want of all things.
Whatever you want, you got to go to your enemy for that. Got to go to your enemy for that. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And that's exactly what happened. We had a yoke of iron on our neck until we was destroyed. And we are definitely destroyed as a people.
Right.
In knowledge, in heritage, and everything. We are destroyed as a people. We don't know the first damn thing to get out this. We scared to do it. Why are we scared to do it? Because every time we did it, white man blaming a black man for raping a white girl or looking at a white girl, and that's the famous line, and came in and destroyed every goddamn thing.
Right.
So the same oppressor didn't do it to the Asians. They didn't do that to the Africans.
Right.
They didn't do that to everybody else, but shit, they did that to us. Well, you want Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Seneca Village in New York, that's now Central Park.
Right.
All of them was because a white girl playing a nigga for looking at her, raping her, or touching her, or something. Which all ended up to be a lie. You know what I'm saying? Just like, what's the boy from Chicago that went down to Mississippi? Emmett Till. It's like Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? And the white woman, he even said on her that, I think she's still alive. She said in the book or something that he ain't do nothing.
Salaki, she is still alive. She is.
And while bringing that up, not to get off topic, but they arrested Nazi people from Germany, Nazi from
Right.
80, 90 years old. But that indictment that they found for the woman for the Emmett Till case, let's let that go.
Right.
Why is that though? That's protecting the white woman.
Right.
That's protecting their own. That's that white privilege.
That's right.
Because if it was a black woman, guess what? Her ass would be thrown up under the jail.
Probably still be locked up.
She'd have died in jail.
Right.
All right, drop that. Give me go to 68.
Kind of. Verse 68. And the Most High shall bring me into Egypt again.
Now Egypt be just being synonymous word for bondage, slavery.
Right.
Go ahead.
With ships.
With ships. I mean, you don't get from Egypt to Israel by a ship. You can just walk there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who's the only people on this planet that went into slavery by the way of ship? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Go ahead.
That will come. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And that's talking about our homeland Israel. You know what I'm saying? The people that's living in that land, they call it Israelis, that ain't their land. That's why there's a constant conflict over there between them and the Palestinians.
Right.
That's why it's always war between them, because they ain't supposed to be there. Keep going.
Kind of. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
You'll be what?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Nah, them our friends that's buying us.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Them our equals that was buying us.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Yeah, them is our friends and neighbors and people at church we see and they shake our hand and smile in our face.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Remember who your enemy is, goddammit.
That's right.
Who's the one that bought you? Who's the one that sold and bought you? Them is your enemies. Them ain't your goddamn equals. And they will never look at you as an equal. That's going coming from the people that sold you when the Africans. They don't look at you as an equal. You cotton. You cotton picker. Right. You a nigga. And the same crackers that bought you for liquor and weapons.
Right.
You still a nigga. Keep going.
That'll come. For bondmen.
For slave men.
And bond women.
And slave woman.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you. All your Martin Luther Kings, all your Malcolm X's, they failed. Martin Luther King has kept us destroyed and kept us marching for the last 60 years, and we still still marching and fighting for the same goddamn things he was marching and fighting for.
Right.
All right, drop that. Give me Amos 9:4. Book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 4.
Amos, chapter 9, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And though they go into captivity before their enemies.
Say what?
And though they go into captivity before their enemies.
Say what?
And though they go into captivity before their enemies.
Although we went into captivity before our enemies, that's never going to look at you as an equal.
Right.
No matter how much you gonna think you're integrated into their society, they still look at you as a captive, as a slave. You're never going to be that equal. Go ahead.
Thence will I command thee, Salaki. Thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them.
And that's exactly what's happening with all these police killings and all these white boys going into grocery stores and churches slaying people. They killing us.
Right.
Our enemies. We've been slain before our enemies, and they killing us. Go ahead.
I will set mine eyes upon them for evil and not for good.
Most High said his eye upon us for evil and not for good, and that's because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. Again, this all goes back to this. The law class. Everything goes back to the law.
Right.
We didn't follow the law, so we went into captivity and we're being slain by our enemies. So, what does that tell us we needed to do to get out this hell that we're living in? Turn back to the law.
Right.
Turn back to the law of our God, the nigga God
That's
of the Bible. Deuteronomy 28:1 says, if you do these laws, statutes, and commandments which Moses give you, then all these good things will happen. If you don't do them, then all these curses is going to happen. So if the Lord done set his eye towards us for bad and not for good, that's because we ain't doing what we're supposed to do.
Right.
So if we want the Lord to turn his eyes into good and not bad, that means we got to turn back to the law and do what we were supposed to do in the covenant to begin with.
Right.
All right, drop that. Give me Jeremiah 17:4.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage.
We shall discontinue from our heritage. Go ahead.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies.
Hey, there it goes again. It will be caused to serve our enemies. Who the people we have to serve today? They're not our equals, not our friends, not our neighbors, not our brothers. They're our enemies.
Right.
Remember who your enemy is. Keep going.
In the land which thou knowest not.
We didn't know this goddamn land before we got here. Go ahead.
For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
We got to turn back to the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
If we want to put, you know what I'm saying, if we want the Lord to turn his eye against us and have a fire kindled against us, we need to turn back to these laws that he gave us so we can get up out this hell that we live in.
That's
all
right.
Drop that. Give me Lamentations 1:5. Book of Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 5.
Lamentations 1:5. Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 5. Her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper. For the Most High have afflicted her. For the multitude of her transgressions, her children are gone into captivity before the enemy.
Before the enemy. All right, now read it again from the top, but read it slow. It's like I should have stopped you. That's my fault.
Lamentations chapter 1, verse 5. Her adversaries are the chief.
Her adversaries, which is the oppressor, which is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks about.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
Her enemies prosper.
Her enemies prosper. You know what I'm saying? Her enemies. The only people that prosper from integration, what was the oppressor?
Right.
Well, what was the so-called white man? Because black people definitely didn't prosper from integration.
None.
We had to serve our enemies in what? Hunger, thirst, nakedness, and one of all things.
Right.
None of that benefits us. Go ahead.
For the multitude of her transgressions.
For the multitude of her transgressions, for her sins. A transgression is a sin.
Right.
And how did we sin? Sin is transgression of the law.
Right.
We broke the law. That's how we committed the sin. Go ahead.
Her children are going into captivity.
Her children are going into captivity. We are in captivity right now. We're not free.
Right.
We're not equals in America. We're not free in America. We goddamn slaves.
That's right.
We've been slaves for the last 600 plus years. Go ahead.
Got no comment. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy.
Before who?
Before the enemy.
Before your neighbors.
Before the enemy.
Before your equals.
Before the enemy.
Remember who your enemy is. We in slavery right now to our enemy. These ain't our equals. All right, drop that. Give me Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 12. I had 8 through 16, but I'm just going to hit on, for time's sake, hit on a couple of them. Start at verse 8, 12 and 8.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity.
A friend cannot be known in prosperity. Go ahead.
Got no cons. And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. You know what I'm saying? A friend cannot be hidden in prosperity. When you're doing good, when you got everything going on, you know what I'm saying? Your friends is right there.
That's right.
You understand? But an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. When things hit the fan, when shit hit the fan, what was that saying? You know who your real friends are when you're at your lowest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know who your friends are. You know what I'm saying? And you know who your enemy is. You know what I'm saying? And whether we doing good, whether it's Black Wall Streets and all the other successful black businesses, who was the person that made the adversary? The oppressor. Right. The oppressor destroyed every goddamn thing. Drop down to 10.
Come. Verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Do what?
Never trust thy enemy.
Do what?
Never trust thy enemy.
Never trust who?
Thy enemy.
Never trust your enemy. Remember who your enemy is.
Right.
Never trust your enemy. Keep going.
Come. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
You get a little piece of iron wet, it's gonna rust. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, that oppressor, he's gonna be wicked and evil.
Right.
No matter how good it may sound, no matter how good it may talk, you know what I'm saying? A coat of blue, you know what I'm saying? We all brothers, you know what I'm saying? But 5 black officers kill a black man, them officers get charged immediately.
Right.
Immediately. Charged. Fired. The only white cop in that scenario, he gets an investigation. All the other white cops that kill black people, they get investigations. Administrative leave.
Right.
You understand? So again, never trust your enemy. And first you gotta remember who your goddamn enemy is.
That's right.
Never trust your enemy. Ain't the so-called ops, the same nigga that look like you, suffering under the same oppression as you, living in the same goddamn ghetto or Bavario as you. That ain't your enemy. Your enemy is the one that got you in that damn Bavario. That got you in the projects. That got you poor. They got you looking at your brother as your enemy.
Right. That's
who your enemy is. Remember who your enemy is. That's the devil that the Bible speaks of. The so-called oppressor. The so-called white man.
That's right.
Drop down to 16. Go to 16.
Kind. Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Enemy speaking sweetly with his lips. Hey, come vote for me. Come vote for me. You know what I'm saying? We're all brothers. We got a code of blue, code of silence, code of blue. We all brothers in this. Speaks real sweet. It sounds real good. Everything sounds real good. Oh yeah, we the same. We equals. That's my brother. My brother, your life matters. My life matters. We all the same. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have you in slavery. I ain't had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? All the shit sound real good. Go ahead.
Kind. But in his heart, he imagined how to throw thee into a pit.
in his heart, he trying to figure out how to overthrow you, throw your ass in a pit. You know what I'm saying? That same color blue, that police union, them same black police officers that killed that black man, they found out real quick. They're just the same white people that called them their brothers, the same white men that said they had the code of blue, code of honor, all that bullshit. They found out real quick. They still niggas.
That's right.
Keep going.
Khan. He will weep with his eyes.
He would cry with his eyes. Oh yeah, I cried. Like, yeah, I care about you and all that bullshit. Go ahead.
But if he find opportunity, he would not be satisfied with blood.
If he find an opportunity, he's not gonna be satisfied with just your blood. He's not gonna be satisfied with just killing you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Drop that. Give me Micaiah 12, 2 and 10. Because one thing we have to understand is this is not our kingdom.
That's right.
We're never going to get the same equality and what's that pursuit of happiness as what's the pursuit of happiness that your oppressors get here in America, because this is not our rest.
Right.
This is not our place. It's not our kingdom. Go ahead.
Khan. Micaiah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Arise and depart. Turn away from this white society. Turn away from this integration. Turn back to your brothers.
Right.
Turn back to segregation. This is not our rest. This is not our kingdom.
Right.
Go ahead.
Khan. Because it is polluted.
This whole society, this whole place is polluted. It's no good. It's not for us.
Right.
Go ahead.
It shall destroy you.
And it will destroy you. And that's exactly what it's done. It's destroyed us. Not only as a people, but in knowledge and everything.
Right.
We'd rather be any damn thing but who we actually are. Because this place, this society has destroyed us. This is not our rest.
Right.
We need to get up at the, and that doesn't physically mean move back to Africa. We ain't Africans neither.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't physically mean you have to move out of the country, but move your mind out of this country. Stop thinking that you're equal to this oppressor. The same oppressor that's had you at the bottom of his knee, had his knee on your neck for 600 years. You think he's now going to look at you as an equal?
Right.
Nah, you're always going to be his nigga. You're always going to be his spit. You're always going to be his slave. Never going to be an equal. Finish that up.
Khan. Even with a sore destruction.
That's all we getting is destruction out of it. From our knowledge to our communities to being just slain in the middle of the goddamn street.
Right.
We getting destruction. Why? Because this is not our rest. This is not our kingdom. Stop thinking that you were integrated into society that gives a damn about you, because they don't. All right, drop that. Give me Obadiah 1 verse 10. You know what I'm saying? This is what we waiting for right here. This is what we want. This is what that I can't wait to see. Why? Because we serve a just God, and all the oppression and all the sacrifice and all the things that's happened to us, whether you want to forget or not, the Most High didn't forget. Most High didn't forgive either. You understand? And we serve in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. We serve a nigga God that is just.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Khan. Obadiah 1 and 10. for thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
But this is basically the whole chapter is talking about the destruction of the Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man, the oppressor.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? For his violence against his brother Jacob. Go ahead.
Select.
In verse 10.
Verse Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Shame shall cover thee. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
And thou shalt be cut off forever. You so-called oppressors, you devils that's been destroying blacks and Hispanics for the last and First Nation people for the last 600 years, you're gonna be cut off forever.
That's right.
There's no our kingdom is not for you. You get no part of that.
That's right.
You're gonna be destroyed. Is that it on that? All right, and with that, that's the end of tonight's law class. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatham, Yahweh Shema Atham, Hashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Class dismissed.